This is where we were previously in our last video. We saw that the cross product of two vectors is the magnitude of one times the magnitude of the other and the sine of the angle between them. Now we're going to look at two vectors in three-dimensional space where we will include unit vectors. Alright? Suppose we have a three-dimensional graph here. And then we have two vectors. Just like in our video on the dot product, we have our graph. Now, let's say this is vector OA. So remember, with vector OA, we have a certain distance in the x direction. Let's call this distance A1, and it's pointing, well, the direction is given by the unit vector I. In the y direction, it goes a certain distance j. A certain distance, say b2, I mean, not j. J is the unit vector showing the direction that it is in the y direction, right? And then in the z direction, let me build a box here to show I'll give an idea of the dimensions here. In the z direction going up, it is C2 high in the direction K, where K is in the z direction, right? We can have another vector which we call OB. And a similar argument applies to OB. Now, in this case, let me just erase these things from the previous work. In this case, A cross B, the cross product of these two vectors. All right, let's write them down first. A is equal to, it's the component in the x direction is A1. I is unit vector in the x direction, showing the direction of it, plus the component B2 in the y direction, represented by unit vector j, plus the component C2 in the k direction, the z direction shown by the unit vector k. Now, B is A2I plus B2J plus C2K. Alright? Now, A cross B is going to be A1I plus B2J plus, no, A1, my mistake. These should be ones. A1, B1, C1. A1, B1, C1. And then A2, B2, C2 down here. Alright, so A1I plus B1J plus C1K cross, you have A2I plus B2J plus C2K. Alright? So you have that. Now the thing is, you're going to have, when you multiply them out, A1 I cross A2 I. Alright? But let's put the i's together from now. No? Let's just put the letters, the unit vectors together. You have A1I, or A1, A2, II. So A1, A2, II. Alright. Plus, or II is cross. Is I cross I. Because we don't want to mix them up. Remember, I and I are, when you have them in the same direction, I and I cross I would be what? Remember, sine of 0 is 1 and the angle is 0. No, I mean sine of 0 is 0 and the angle is 0, so this would be 0. Alright? Now, here we have A1, B2, IJ. Now, we plus A1, B2, I cross J. But what would be I cross J? If we have I in the x direction, following the same direction here, it's x, y, z. We see x going towards our left, y going down, the lower left, y going to our upper right. So I, and then j, that's j. So remember now, at the corner here is a right angle. So I cross j. In this case, I cross j. So we going from I to j. So this is 1. Alright, we consider this 1. So I cross j. Alright. Now, later on, we're going to assign these values to them. But we want to write them out. Well, we just wait until we multiply all of them out and then write them out. So what we have is A1, A2, II, good. A1, B2, IJ, A1, B2, I cross J, plus A1, C2, I cross K. So A1, C2, I cross K. Alright. Plus B1, A2, J cross I. So B1, A2, J cross I, plus B1, B2, J cross J. So B1, B2, J cross J, plus B1, C2, so it's B1, C2, J cross K. Alright. Plus, alright, C1, K time now. C1, A2. C1, A2, K cross I, plus C1, B2, K cross J. C1, B2, K cross J, plus C1, C2, K cross K. C1, C2, K cross K. Alright, so let's look at these individually now. We have A1, A2, I cross I. Same direction, so 0. The angle 0 degrees between them, so sine of 0 is 0. So this has a 0. Alright, plus what about A1, B2? We have an I cross J. We consider I cross J as 1. So this is 1. Plus A1, C2, I cross K. So if we have K up here and I here, and we cross a K with I, that's 90 degrees here, so we get 1. Alright, so I cross K, this gives us 1 plus, alright, B1, A2, J cross I. Alright, so, oh, I didn't write this down. I cross K equal 1. Good. And we say I cross J is 1. If we have I cross J is 1. Oh, I cross J is not just 1. If we have I cross J, it's K. Because I cross J, would be K. It's the vector that is 90 degrees to each of them. But hold on. Yeah. 90 degrees to each of them. Right? Sine 90 is 1. This 90 here. But now, if you cross I with J, you get 1K. I cross J is K. Right? And then I cross K would be J. So this should be J. Right? So in this case, A1, B2, I cross J is K. Right? So we have I cross J is K. A1, C2, I cross K. Now, I cross K. We R cross K. I cross K would be J. Alright, so A1, B2. What is it? I cross K. A1, C2. It should be J then. Right? So A1, A2. So in this case, what we have is A1, A2, that's 0. A1, B2 is K. A1, C2, that's I cross K. If you cross I cross K, hold on, we need to maintain a certain direction. So we swing this upwards. Go I cross K. If you go from I to K, the right hand rule would show J would be, if I'm looking at the right hand rule, my first finger is in direction of J, in direction of K, and my middle finger in the direction of I, or my thumb. J would be the opposite side. There's a right hand rule to determine the direction. Alright, so you have positive J here. I shouldn't bother rub it out. Positive J and negative J. So I cross K would be negative J then. Alright. So in this case, A1, C2, A1, C2, I cross K would be negative J plus, and then, so that's that. Remember now, if you have, for example, you have your thumb pointing up here, and then you swing your fingers in the direction of the, so you curl your fingers, my, in the direction from, say, if you're finding A cross B, oh boy, A cross B going this way, your thumb would be pointing in the direction A cross B. Alright? Something like that. Alright? So if you're moving from I to J with your right hand, you'll be pointing this way. Alright. Now, what about B1, A2? What happened to B1, A2? J cross I. If you're having J cross I, J is here, I is here. I'm going to curl my fingers from J to I. Well, my thumb will be pointing downwards. So J cross I equal negative K. Right? And just use your thumb, your fingers and your thumb. I cross J, you spin clockwise with the right hand, going from I to J, your thumb point up. If you swing it from J to K, your thumb would have to point down. So J cross I would be negative K. So what happened here? With B1A2, you have a negative K associated with it, right? B1A2 plus B1, B2. Well, JJ is 0, right? Same direction, so that's sine 0, 0 plus B1C2. What's happening at B1C2? J cross K. Alright, so if you have J cross K, if you're making a half a fist, turning it from J to K, well, seems like you'd have to point your thumb towards your lower left, which is I. Is in the same direction as I. Right? So this one here, that's C1A2. You have an I there. Alright? I put the plus C1A2 I. Right? Plus C1B2. What will happen at C1B2? There is a K cross J. K cross J. So if you making half a fist and you're spinning, or it could be that you're holding a shaft and turning it to the right hand clockwise, and you're turning from K to J, it would be in the opposite direction. Your thumb is in the opposite direction as I. Right? So, see, like C1B2 would give you a negative I. Right? Plus C1C2 KK, that's C1C2. You have a 0 there. Alright. So let's see how this goes now. A1, A2, that disappears. A1, B2, K. You have that there, right? Minus A1C2J. No, minus. There's a minus B1A2K. B1B2, that's gone. Plus, oh, B1C2. What happened at B1C2? Is J cross K. we have J cross K. If we turn from J to K, our finger would be in the direction I, right? It would be in the direction of I. So B1C2 would have an I. And just to check the C1A2, we have K cross I. Oh, that I would have should have put up here on the A1C2 is the B1C2 look like that's the same I have put with the C1A2. C1A2 is K cross I. So with K cross I, if I turn from K to I, my thumb will be pointing in the direction of J, right? So it seems like C1A2 should have a J on it. Alright, just to double check, C1B2. C1B2 is on K cross J. So K cross J, turning from K, negative I. Should have a negative I, yeah? Alright, so here now, we have a B1A2, negative K, so that's a minus. B1B2 is gone. B1C2I plus, so we have B1C2I plus C1A2J plus C1B2, well, I. Well, that's a minus. It's really a minus, not a plus. So this should be minus. And then this is 0. All right. So we have that, right? Now let's put like terms together, the k's together. A1 B2K minus B1 A2K plus the j's now. Well, with the j we have well, there's a minus A1C2J and then plus C1A2J. All right, K is now minus B. Oh, we had a K. Oh, we did the K already. All right, let's start over and do I first. IJK, go in order. The I's, we have B1C2I minus C1B2I, all right, plus J's now, well, we have a minus here, minus A1C2J, then plus C1A2J, then the K now plus A1B2K, and then minus B1A2K minus B1A2K. All right, let's factor out the i's. All right, so we have I B1C2 minus C1B2 plus, so we have J, in J we have C1A2 minus A1C2, all right, then plus K, we have A1B2 minus B1A2, okay. Now here Let's just do a little thing here, right? Suppose we say that the A cross B that we have is equal to, alright, so we have still have I B1 C2 minus C1 B2, right? I could just put them in alphabetical order from now. Let's just put them in alphabetical order. So that's B2 C1, right? It's probably a little clearer when we do that. Here, let's put a minus J, open bracket, minus J times, if we minus the J, right, we would have to change the sign in front of the A1 C2 to make it back like here. So A1 C2, if we multiply negative J by A1 C2, we'd have negative J A1 C2, same thing as when we expand this. And then we'd have to make this negative now. So we have a minus A2 C1. Because notice if we say negative J times A2 C1, right, by negative A2 C1, we have a positive J A2 C1. If we multiply this, we'd have the same positive J A2 C1. Alright? Alright, so plus, and then we have K A1 B2 minus A2 B1. Alright. Now, you notice about this thing here. Well, we have a plus minus plus. This is an I, but guess what? If we make a little determinant here, what we would have is B1 times B2, but times C2 here, times C2. Remember the AD minus BC matrices, B1 C2 minus, and then we'd have C1 B2 here, right? Minus J times another determinant. So in this case we have A1 C2 minus, say this is C1 A2, you see that, plus K, and we have another determinant here. So we have A1 B2 minus then B1 A2. Interesting. Alright. Now, here, if we had a 3 by 3 determinant, this looks like a 3 by 3 determinant, and we have I times, we cover up the rows and columns with I, what we would have is the determinant B1, C1, B2, C2. See that? Then we have J here, row 1, column 2. If we cover up the rows and column with J, what we would have is this, what we have up here, A1, C1, A2, C2, and then plus we have K, then we cover up the rows and column with K, and we have the determinant A1, B1, same determinant here, A1, B1, A2, B2. Alright, so here now, this is a very convenient way of writing the vector product or the cross product of two vectors. We have A is equal to A1I plus B1J plus C1K, and B is equal to A2I plus B2J plus C2K. Alright? Then A cross B would be this. So notice the top row, row 1, it only have the unit vectors ijk. Row 2, it has the coefficients of A alone, A1, B1, C1. Third row has the coefficient of B alone, A2, B2, C1, C2. So here, the unit vectors here, coefficients of, oh boy, of A, and here we have coefficients of B. All right, so that is the way we find the cross product of two vectors. All right, I'll see you in the next video.